And welcome back. Our guest tonight is an active duty soldier from the #IDidn'tJoin campaign. Maybe you guys have seen this. It's been demonized in the public. Some people are saying this is a hoax. This is a very real movement, very real people that you're about to see. You're about to see one of these guys right now. And these are just people who are fed up with the war lies, with the propaganda, and they know, like Alex says on the show all the time, active duty military and police, they know what's going on, and this is one of the guys right here. All right, thanks for joining us, Evan.
Hi, how you doing?
Really good. Now, I want to confirm to people that you are active duty military, so can you tell us who you are and what your experience is?
Yeah, sure. My name's Evan Klosinski. I've been an active duty U.S. Army service member for 6 years now. I have one deployment to Iraq. It's been kind of a stepping stone in my life to be a service member and to learn skills and some trades that I otherwise probably wouldn't have learned outside of it. I'm currently going to be deploying again here soon to Afghanistan. And other than that, I'm just proud to serve my nation and the people of America.
And we definitely do appreciate your service. Now, Evan, can you tell us a little bit about the #IDidn'tJoin campaign and what prompted you to become involved?
I haven't had my Twitter account for very long, and I haven't done a whole lot on it. And then one day I decided to check it out, and I saw this, and I've always been a follower of Alex Jones on there and a number of other news media outlets. And you got to be fair and balanced, so you got to get the story from all sides as it's being told. Mm-hmm. And I came upon a posting from the Alex Jones show, and it was about the #IDidn'tJoin. And I saw that other service members are willing to, stick their neck out on the line and to stand up for what they believe in. And that I think it's pivotal and critical for those of us in the service to let our leaders know, hey, what you're doing isn't right, and that we share the same view as the rest of the people of our country. I won't say the rest of us, because it is right now, 60-40 that do not favor action in Syria. But like those other service members, I share that opinion, and it dawned on me that what they're talking about is, in Afghanistan and in Iraq, we fought insurgents and people of the Taliban, and most importantly, Al-Qaeda. And there are Al-Qaeda in Syria, and apparently we're supporting them. So I'm going to fight them in one country, mm-hmm, and help them in another. It doesn't make sense. Why would anybody with a shred of common sense think that that was an okay thing to do? It doesn't make sense. I've lost friends, I've lost brothers and sisters in the military to those exact same people, and now they're considering this, that you're going to put us in that same area to help those people who want to kill us. It doesn't make sense.
Now, Evan, I've come to the knowledge that not everybody in the military feels the same way as you do. You said you have a good majority, 60-40 or so, you said. But we have this graphic we're going to show our viewers. I know you can't see it, but this is a graphic of a soldier who definitely does not share your views and opinions. He's saying you don't join to say, I refuse. Maybe you've seen this. I'm not sure if you have. Exactly. But he says, stop making your signs and get the F back to work. Yep. What do you think about that?
That one right there, there's a blatant difference between blindly following and loyally serving. Mm-hmm. And that guy is a blind follower. He will be the person who, when they order you to fire on American citizens, God forbid, he's going to be the kind of guy who's going to pull that trigger, instead of looking back and going, are you serious, and questioning that completely unlawful order. Mm-hmm. That's who that guy is. And you'll notice, of all the pictures that you see out there, I'm pretty sure, because I've looked at him, I think he's the only one who's made something like that.
Yes, that's the only one I've seen. I'm sure there are many posts at many places, but that's the only one I've seen. But it's not just him. We also have these articles. Here's one from the Huffington Post. Tea Party troops, and if you have any type of different opinion, you're automatically in a Tea Party, but Tea Party troops protest Syria strike on Facebook, raise questions about military code of conduct. And, this is, some writers, and not just here, but many other places, people are questioning your views and your stance. And, we see all these people that said, I didn't join to serve Al-Qaeda, to be Al-Qaeda's Air Force, and so forth. So what are your thoughts about that when you see these from these type of publications?
Well, I mean, everybody is entitled to their point of view and their opinion, and you'll also see that there's the exact opposite of that with the group Oath Keepers. If you don't know who they are, those are the guys who are active duty, reserve, retired, military from all branches, police, fire department, the Oath Keepers. These are people who swore an oath, and they're going to defend and uphold that oath to their dying breath. So you've got the Tea Party people who are being accused of, or saying that they're feeling this way about it, and then you've got, on the other side, the Oath Keepers. You've got those people who are willing to uphold that oath, and they understand that there's a priority set in there, that when you take that oath, the first part of it is that you will uphold and defend the Constitution against enemies both foreign and domestic. And then the next part of it is that you will follow the orders of the president and officers appointed over you. So the precedence there is to uphold and defend the Constitution, and then to follow orders. And if those orders aren't lawful and legal, you have a moral obligation to disobey. So if the Tea Party people, and I'm not saying they're bad, I'm not saying they're good, if they find it outrageous or offensive that there are people who are willing to actually understand that the oath they took has multiple parts to it and an order of precedence, then perhaps they should reread, if they've ever taken that oath, they should reread it and understand a little better how that oath is meant to be.
And that very much does concern me. I'm glad you brought that up, because, we see these guys not just in military, but police and wherever they may be. And, I'm just going to follow whatever order I'm given. We saw this with Hurricane Katrina, the door-to-door gun confiscation, as well as many other examples, spraying kids at the colleges and so forth, pepper spraying them in the face. I'm just going to follow whatever order I'm given. And, it always ends up with the old cliche that this is how you get a Nazi Germany. This is how you get a Stalinist Russia. Does this concern you?
With the gradual turn of our police forces into literally police state, look what happened after the Tsarnaev brothers bombed Boston. You saw armed men going door to door to door, not asking for permission, just boom, going in, saying, hey, we're coming in, we're looking.
And not just that, they're running around the streets pointing firearms at journalists, putting them in their faces, and other channels saying that never happened. We have it on camera from several different angles, people being escorted out of their house by gunpoint, and then they're like, well, they volunteered to leave. Well, yeah, they volunteered to leave. They didn't fight you when you pointed a gun in their face.
Yeah. I'd volunteer to move too if I had somebody's gun pointed in my face and I didn't have a means of defending myself. Yeah, I'd voluntarily move too. So
now, Evan, let me ask you this. There's a lot of people out there and they're saying, what's the big deal about the war in Syria? It's just another country. Obama got on TV and said they have chemical weapons without showing any real evidence other than the video that had the Al-Qaeda logo suspiciously in the corner, but saying that was the Assad regime. But, from your opinion and your views, is it a good deal to go into Syria? Should we have any type of intervention in Syria?
On Syria, the interesting thing, Syria is a sovereign nation state, and one of the more interesting facts about them is that they're not under the IMF. They don't fall under the big bankers that relatively control the rest of the world. And then also, you've got a civil war that's been going on for some time now that has absolutely nothing to do with us. It's their civil war. That's not our fight to get into, and we have no real logical reason to do so. The international laws state that you don't go and interfere in somebody else's civil war unless they ask you to. And as the rebels are not a recognized state, they do not have a governmental authority, they can't do that. We can't go in and say, hey, we're going to help these guys now, because we're going to support them and provide them money and weapons. We can't do that. It violates international law in itself. Now, if Assad said, hey, I need you some help here.
Which is not happening, but yeah, go ahead.
I know I haven't been the best guy. I'm a bit of a dictator, but I could use some help here. He has the international legal authority to do that. And then you look at the rebels and the makeup of them, who they are. Radical Islamists, some moderate Islamists, as Secretary of State Kerry has pointed, and John McCain has said these are moderates.
Even though he goes out there and hangs out with the people and says, I was never hanging out with no terrorist.
Those people he was hanging out with are actual identified terrorists, yeah. I saw that too. It was kind of a chuckle there, but at the same time, I mean, look at who he is. And then a good portion of those, they're a bit more than just radical. They're Al Qaeda. They're CIA and FBI terrorist watch list groups. Al Qaeda, the Al Nusra Front, blatantly murdering and killing civilians. And then, the other day, that video came up and it hit. I believe the New York Times published a picture right on their front page of 7 men laying face down in the dirt who were then executed and left in an unmarked grave. Those are, by John McCain and John Kerry standards, those are apparently the moderates we're dealing with over there.
Exactly.
Differ on that.
Now, Evan, our time is short. Can you just give us your last closing thoughts?
I would hope that the citizens of our nation will look deeply into the truth and what's actually happening, look into their conscience and realize that, yes, some of these events are tragic and what happened is not a good thing, but also that it's not our place to police the world. And I would hope that they would urge their representatives and senators in D.C. and over there at the White House, let them know that, hey, we don't approve, and that for 200 plus years our government has worked for us and we don't work for them, and that they have the obligatory requirement to listen to the will of the people. And if the people have spoken, then that's it. If the people say by majority don't do it, then you can't do it, and our representatives need to listen. If we say don't do it, then your vote is no. My people have spoken. Simple as that. Wake up, America. Your government works for you, not the other way around.
It's exactly what they don't want you to know, the big government. And also, Evan, what would you say to anybody who's in the military, and they don't like this war, and they want to speak out? What would you say to them to give them the courage that you have?
Take a stand. Do the right thing. General Schwarzkopf said it's not always the easiest thing to do the right thing. I forget the phrasing exactly on it, but those of us in the military, you know what Schwarzkopf said, and follow it, because doing the moral right thing is all we can do. Otherwise, we become part of the problem.
All right, thank you, Evan, and definitely appreciate your time and appreciate your courage and your service.
Thank you.